muito bem-vindos aqui ao canal ARC. Desta vez é muito especial para mim estar também aqui a entrevistar uma pessoa que me é também muito querida, que é de facto o diretor-geral Portugal e Espanha e arredores, estou a brincar, mas é da Bvlgari, e é tão especial para mim estar aqui com o Boris Barboni. Hello, Boris. How are you?
I'm good.
Are you good?
Yes, I am.
Say hello to the thousands and thousands of people that are watching our special interview.
Hello, people from Portugal, and thank you. Benvenuti da Bvlgari.
I love the Italian, but most of all, I like you so much. Thank you for the pleasure of having this special interview.
That's my pleasure. That's our pleasure because I think it's beautiful for Bvlgari. To be even more known by the Portuguese public, and we're very honored to have you here in our home.
Thank you so much, and thank you. I will start by saying that it's for me an honor, and I'm so blessed for feeling part of the family Bvlgari, because we are together in so many special moments, in special events. So thank you so much. It has been a true honor for me.
It's a pleasure having you in our Bvlgari family.
Thank you so
you're
much.
Always welcome.
Thank you so much. I feel like family, and maybe that's the way, the best way of starting our conversation.
Great.
Because to have this kind of experience, to feel the real nature of Bvlgari is really to be close to the real emotion.
Yeah, totally.
Is it?
I think when it comes to jewelry, it's always something special. Because it's something which is generally bought or gifted to really mark a very special moment, a very special emotion, a very special, I would say, interest, sometimes investment.
Yes.
So it's all about emotions. It's not about something necessarily technical. It's really about emotions, and this is what makes it so beautiful and makes it so timeless. And we have to think that it's, jewelry has been around for thousands of years in all cultures.
Yes.
And for this reason, it makes us really proud to really work with these masterpieces.
Yes, masterpieces that came in Bvlgari from Rome, where you are from.
Yeah.
So when you grown in Rome, did you feel that it was really, that special city? Because it's so lovely, it's so glamorous, it's so timeless.
Not because I'm Roman, but yeah. I think, the point with Rome is that it has so many monuments, so many layers of history. In Rome, you have, the Roman ruins, you have the Baroque flamboyance of the buildings, you have medieval, so you have all sorts of eras that combine and makes it like a city full of inspiration.
Yes.
And in the end, when you walk in Rome, all of the monuments you see, it's an aesthetic therapy. It's beautiful,
yes.
It's mesmerizing. And there is
walking in history.
Yeah, walking in
and
history.
in films, and in music.
Music.
How many times did you,
the coin, a lot, especially
did it work?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no, but the thing is that it's really beautiful because all of the friends that come to Rome really want to throw the coin
it's part
and they all want to go to Bvlgari at some point. So that's also because it's part of the city itself. Bvlgari is like an institution in Rome. It's completely tied to the story of the city, and there is such a big dialogue between Rome and Bvlgari and vice versa. So that's so all of my friends, they come to Rome from Fontana di Trevi. They want to have lovely food, and then Bvlgari.
Of course, and it was there that the magic started and that the history started.
Yeah,
it was a Greek.
Yeah,
wasn't it that it moved?
It was a Greek family that at some point started moving across Southern Europe, and they found their place in Rome. And this is we're talking of the mid 19th century, and then they established themselves in Rome. Sotilio, the founder, used to do beautiful handcrafted objects in silver. And then slowly the family, generation after generation, went in the early 20th century to really make this beautiful jewelry. And they started with high jewelry, and this is, and the story went on to our present day, but it's beautiful because at some
long
point,
story,
long story, more
now in a very special group also, yes.
Now in a very special group, but a story that in the end it's close to 140 years, so a long time. And the beautiful thing is that at some point Bvlgari started to change the rules of jewelry. That's a very interesting thing. In the 60s, the Bvlgari family started mixing stones like turquoise with precious stones like emerald, and
reinventing, going to the edge, breaking the rules.
Yeah, breaking the rules of traditional jewelry, which was very influenced by French jewelry. So at some point Bvlgari really marks its own aesthetic dialogue, and that went incredibly, it really projected its aura beyond the frontiers of Rome, especially because in Rome you had a lot of celebrities like Liz Taylor and all of these fantastic Hollywood celebrities which were doing their films in Rome, because Rome was at that point with Cinecittà one of the key centers for movie making.
And we can see that, Carmo, if you can please, here in the store em Lisboa, aqui na loja, estava a falar inglês, perdoa-me, que na loja da Bvlgari, na Avenida da Liberdade, que tem mesmo que vir aqui sentir o que é a experiência também desta linda loja. Tem aqui de facto, para além de todas as peças que são únicas e maravilhosas, que já iremos conhecer um pouco melhor, e o que é isto de alta joalharia e de luxo, esta imagem de Elizabeth Taylor. Can you tell me a little bit more about this image? It's really very special.
This is actually Elizabeth Taylor with Richard Burton.
1964.
Yeah. And Richard Burton used to say one thing which was very fun, which is Liz only knows one word in Italian, and it's Bvlgari. And that was very fun because she loved the jewels, and it was one of her brooches with emerald. And she would be one of the favorite, customers of the brand, and the Bvlgari family would welcome her. She would enter from a back door, not to be seen by the paparazzi. So there was all of these stories that were just crazy. And in the end, one of her famous necklaces, it's in our private collection in Rome.
In that store
exactly.
that it became?
Via Condotti, which is our flagship since ever. In that store, which we call the Domus, with the upper part, it has our permanent collection, our permanent heritage collection, and that's beautiful. And you can actually find the necklace of Liz Taylor, and
like a living museum.
Yeah, it has so many stories. And,
so you fell in love in Bvlgari since ever?
Since I was
industry of luxury?
Yeah, I've had I worked for very different brands in my career. But since I was a kid, I was inspired by Bvlgari because when you're in Rome, especially, it's beautiful to see.
You can't run away from that.
Of Condotti and all of the stones and the magic and the glamour and so I think I always felt, but then it just happened
because you come from a very interesting road. Boris tem percurso absolutamente incrível em marcas de consumo, experiência incrível como marketeer, excepcional, profissional enorme em marketing. So when you got the invitation, were you surprised?
I was very excited. I was very excited. I was surprised. I was very happy. So I did a normal recruiting process. And
did you have an interview?
Yeah, it was
so
very.
So you went to the interview.
And that was very.
Took a jewelry to the interview.
I had a watch. So but the point is that I really, for me, was was exciting. It was like when you're a kid and you watch this beautiful brand. And then you have the occasion to enter in contact with the brand, and then it's like you start working for it, and I started working in marketing as a global marketing director for jewelry. That was just great. It was crazy, and after that, then I came here in Spain and Portugal, and so the dream kept on going, because it's beautiful, to then enter also in contact with with the world of the boutiques and the customers, our clients, which are very in general our clients are mostly very strong women, determined, with
attitude.
with attitude, like rule breakers, and that's fascinating because you get to meet very nice people around the world, and that's very special.
A jewel that you choose says a lot about a woman. Says a lot about a man.
I think it says a lot in general about a person because it depends pretty much on because but I think it doesn't say it all because you can like one jewel in one moment of your life, then another one in another moment of your life. You might like one jewel for an occasion and another better for another. So I think it says a lot of you in that precise moment, not necessarily for. And that's a beautiful thing about jewelry. And I'm really happy here because here for the first time in Portugal we have a high jewelry collection, so from Bvlgari. So
do you want to show us?
Yeah, definitely. That's
I know it already,
pleasure,
já vi,
pleasure.
mas venham para ver. A loja é realmente mágica.
But until now we didn't bring some high jewelry pieces of our high jewelry collection. So last week we did our first high jewelry event in this boutique.
It was so special. Thank you so much for the invitation, and the environment was really
You
glamorous.
are always welcome, but especially when there is high jewelry. But what is nice in this case is that we have the selection, one of the biggest selection of high jewelry that we could bring here to Portugal for 3 weeks. And so this collection is going to stay here until the 8th of December. And for instance, we have one thing we could show you is like this wonderful Forever necklace. So
beautiful.
This flower, which is Forever means fiore and ever for forever. So it means like flower forever. Yeah, exactly. And this is a creation from Lucia, and here is a creation in full pavé with a central diamond, which is flawless.
And each jewel is a book. Yes, it tells its story.
Yes,
isn't it?
It tells a story.
So amazing.
You're so right because each jewel has a design inspiration, has a technical challenge because you have each of these jewels really move. Each of the petals here, when you touch them, everything is mobile. So it's not it's not stiff. It's not something. It lasts to live on the skin of a woman. So it needs to be flexible, dynamic. And it makes it very special. But if we have one of these pieces, but then we can switch and go to something which is...
These ones are also the remarkable, the serpenti.
Fantastic serpenti circular watches. And some here, we have different techniques. These are all gold and diamonds, and some touches on this one with emeralds and malachite. But we have this technique which is called guilloche, which is really about marking the gold for it to be like engraved, and that's very special. It's so everything has to be catered in detail. Each of that line is a line made by hand.
The time to do such jewelry.
Hundreds of hours. Each piece it's made by a craftsman, and for hundreds of hours. And that, for this reason, it makes it so special because it's not only something which has intrinsic value like gold, stones, but it has a craftsmanship value which is inarable. For this reason, these kind of pieces which are unique or very limited pieces
have a value,
have a value, and they keep their value. For this reason, some of our clients also buy for investment reasons because they stay during the time. Yes,
and in a phase that we are living now, so digital also, so strongly present, but also so immediately.
Yeah.
It's good now, and Boris, that I'm also very into sustainability.
Yeah.
Bvlgari and the group is also very into the sustainable goals. I was searching a lot of that, so congratulations. It's so special because when we talk about the luxury industry, it's such a pattern in the old days that now it has really to reinvent the way we consume, isn't
Absolutely.
it? And you are into that also.
Absolutely. What is interesting, it's that Bvlgari has certified gold since 2015, so it's already like more than 4 years. This means that our gold is sourced in an ethical way in all of its stages, for instance. So, and we of course have conflict-free diamonds, and which have a special chain of custody, and this for us is very important. So it's a brand that is investing a lot in this, has always invested a lot. But it's also a brand that has been very at the forefront for a lot of ethical process. Like for instance, not a lot of people know that Bvlgari was one of the first brands in supporting an NGO. Like for instance, in the 90s, Bvlgari supported the WWF.
Yes.
And with a collection called Naturalia, like some of the revenues went to WWF at the time. And now since 10 years, we're actually celebrating our anniversary, 10-year anniversary now.
Yes.
Bvlgari has been partner of Save the Children, and we have our Save the Children collection, which a part of it goes directly to the NGO. And now we're close to a donation of which, it's close to $100 million since 10 years.
Wow!
And that's great because this
special,
money goes to support really several causes for the children around the world. Maybe in Rome or in Syria or in all the places where, because in all places we can improve the life of children. So we're very proud of this sort of partnership. So you see,
and you have that conscience very present, and it's important for people to really know this,
We're very proud. This makes us proud, and for this reason I loved you asked the question, because it goes from a sense of responsibility when it comes to chain of cost to the environment, but also when it goes to some ethical causes which are necessary to contribute to if we can.
Yes, because the luxury market is also changing.
Yes.
But talking about that, do you think it's of course it's very different, the market, Spain and Portugal, but what are the main differences? Do we have more tourists here because we are again celebrating the hottest town of the world, of the Europe?
Yes.
So what can you tell us about that? And
I think it's interesting. There are some differences, but there are also some similarities. I think what if you take cities like Lisbon, Madrid, Barcelona, they're very, very strong in terms of tourism, of global tourism. Yes. So they really attract a lot of very interesting international crowds. So on this, the cities are very different. Then when you go to some specificities of that tourism, they really change between the cities. For instance, it's nice, of course, in Lisbon, you have a very big Brazilian community, which is a peculiarity, whereas in Madrid you have more of a Spanish-speaking Latin American community. So
do you buy different things also, Boris?
I think
gold?
Not really. Now, if I must say, it's interesting, but in jewelry, it's really your heart that speaks. So you don't have this sort of consumer trends. Because it's not a consumer. It's really a piece by piece, heartfelt category. So you don't have these sort of trends, but you have some macro trends which then reflect some peculiarities. For instance, the Chinese consumer tends to favor pink gold, whereas for instance, in some places of the world, for instance, the United States, yellow gold is more in demand. So it's really little things like this, but in general there are no
it's not about that.
It's not about that. It's really it's really about the piece. What gets you. So what really calls your emotion. So you have you have all sorts of interesting stories and tastes.
And you have all forms also of buying, of consuming. You can all, vocês podem todos vir aqui à loja, obviamente, e comprar, but we can also consume online.
Yes.
And Bvlgari also,
that's very
reaches a lot.
Now that you're talking
of,
now that you're talking of
and the young
online,
consuming.
It's interesting because one would think that a category like jewelry or watches wouldn't be the right category for e-commerce. Actually, we've launched e-commerce in a lot of places, from really the UK, Spain, the US. I mean, you name it. And it's interesting to see that it's not only working, it's actually calling the attention of a lot of clients which might know our product, but they don't have the time at that moment. They want to make a special gift because
and the packaging.
Bvlgari
packaging.
What we do
is also very special.
That's nice that you mentioned, because what we do is when you buy online, it gets delivered to you with a special packaging, so it's an ideal gifting thing.
Yes.
And
okay,
we say for your admirers, and so that's nice. And it's actually one would think, oh, maybe it's mostly eyewear or things like that.
But no,
it actually can be high high-end watches, like we sold some in recently. So I think it really depends on the agenda of our client, because if you have a busy client that is just feeling like buying something and is exactly, or wants to make a gift, and she or he might be in the other side of the world but wants a special one or a special half to have something, it's just with a click you're there.
And they know already the brands.
They know the brand.
They know already the quality of the brand. So they trust. That's so
there is a big dialogue
important
between brick and mortar, so between the boutique and e-commerce. We tend to see that some customers browse in store but then buy online. But then some really also
don't need that.
Browse online, but then come to finalize the purchase in store because they like the special, the special plus we can get in store, because we pride ourselves of having Roman hospitality in our boutiques, which means having that little extra attention, with making you feel at home.
And here in Lisbon, and you can say that to Chris that's there, and Anna also, and Jose, the team is so special.
We have a special team.
Yes, so professional, and Chris is there. Olá, Chris.
Olá.
E olá para o Brasil também, não é?
Sim, olá, Brasil também.
Really still need
And for Lisbon, for our store, are we going to have a hotel Bvlgari here?
I don't have any news on any hotel, but what I can tell you is that in the Bvlgari boutique here in Lisbon, we've already done like several events this year.
Yes.
For the first time, we had this wonderful high jewelry event, which it's really for us it's a pride, because when you manage to take all of these handcrafted pieces in here in this special place, which is Lisbon, for the first time, it really makes a mark. But this is just the beginning. For next year, we want to really do even more and bigger things. So we have a very nice calendar. But you'll have to come to the boutique to see it and talk to our beautiful team here to get to know all the details. But it's a beautiful. I think we're very thrilled about this year because it was a very nice year. We got to meet a lot of very interesting and nice clients that became part of our Bvlgari family. And I think next year as well, the market in Portugal suggests that it's going to grow even more.
Faster, isn't it?
So I think the prospect look very good, and we want to do even more things, which I think are going to make us even be more the name of reference of jewelry in Lisbon and in Portugal.
Yes, and in the world. Thank you so much, Boris. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Obrigado.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Festas.
Obrigado.
E muito obrigada por
Boas
esta...
festas.
Boas festas.
Boas festas. Boas festas.
A lot of yoga.
A lot of yoga. We'll try.
And always continue with that shining, natural shining that you have in your aura. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here and again be part of the family.
My pleasure. My
Feliz
pleasure.
Natal. Come si dice in italiano?
Felice Natale.
Felice.
Buon Natale.
Buon Natale.
Buon Natale.
Bom
Buon
Natal a
Natale.
todos! Beijinhos! E já agora, naturalmente, venham ver, desfrutar toda esta experiência do que é a Bvlgari, não só a loja, naturalmente, mas toda esta equipa maravilhosa, com quem eu também já vou falar um bocadinho. Beijinhos!